Wake County is quickly becoming a destination, a place where people come to live, work, learn, and play. We see that ring true not only in our growing population, but also in our economy. Wake County businesses have created nearly 2,800 new jobs this year to date, many of them in the technology sector. We've also seen 16 new companies bring their businesses to our area, and 29 existing companies expand their enterprises. In all, this represents an impressive $224 million of new investment in Wake County and supports a continuing decline in unemployment and wage growth. But not everyone is benefiting from an improved economy. Right now, the incomes of about 120,000 people in Wake County fall below the federal poverty line. 1 in 7 may not always know where their next meal will come from. Wake County is working to change this through partnerships and collaboration with many community organizations that leverage resources and focus on creating positive outcomes for vulnerable individuals and families.
Creating a culture of teamwork is vitally important because we are more effective together than we are apart. When we join forces, we better leverage our assets and we can do more good. I call it creating synergy. For example, areas like food insecurity, business and job development, and affordable housing are key drivers working together in addressing disparities in our vulnerable communities through collective impacts.
About 133,000 people in Wake County can't afford nutritious food on a regular basis. We're using the collective impact model to help reduce those numbers. In October, Wake County, along with the public school system and the Interfaith Food Shuttle, opened food pantries at 5 high schools across the county. They offer fresh, healthy food for free to students and their families who are hungry. We also increased funding in the budget this year for universal school breakfast. Our investment enables 25 schools in Wake County to serve a healthy breakfast to any child who asks for it. Another way we've worked with our partners to fight hunger in the county is by expanding the summer food program. We've served more than 294,000 meals to nearly 7,700 children in June, July, and August. That's 25,000 more meals than last year. Many times, hunger and homelessness go hand in hand. We're doing our part to help find decent and safe housing for people experiencing homelessness while they try to get back on their feet. Wake County is working with the City of Raleigh on plans for a multi-service center that will serve as a one-stop location to help people experiencing homelessness get back on the track to securing permanent housing more efficiently. A lack of affordable housing is another challenge Wake County is working to address. Currently, more than 126,000 households are spending more than 30% of their income on housing costs.
Think of the hourly workers in the customer service industry. They have jobs, but they don't always make enough money to cover their rent, pay the bills, and buy food and clothing. So they have to choose, and that is tough. We want to make it easier for our lower income residents to have more affordable options.
The foundation of that effort is Wake County's 2016 to 2017 Affordable Housing Action Plan. It's a one-year plan that addresses the housing and community development needs of low-income families in our county. The plan includes funding the construction of 42 new affordable housing units in Raleigh for seniors. We're also taking a long-range look at the county's affordable housing needs with the new Wake County Steering Committee on Affordable Housing. Established in September, the Steering Committee's goal is to develop a 20-year plan that presents ways to increase the affordable housing stock in our county. On a broader level, Wake County has launched 2 pilot programs, one in southeast Raleigh and another in the eastern part of the county, to improve outcomes related to poverty, health disparities, education, entrepreneurship, and employment. The pilots will harness the collective resources of individuals, faith-based organizations, nonprofits, private industry, and government to drive positive change. In conjunction with our efforts over the past year to improve Wake County's social and economic vitality, we've also focused closely on the mental health crisis in our community. Statistics show nationally that 1 in 5 people experiences a mental illness in a given year. If we apply that calculation to our population, it equals more than 200,000 people annually.
No one wants to talk about mental health and substance abuse issues, but we have to, because they're not going away. As more people move into Wake County, the situation is only going to become more serious. That's why we're working hard to create new partnerships and provide more services to get people suffering from mental illness and substance abuse disorders the help they need before their situation becomes a crisis.
The Wake County Detention Center houses a large concentration of people with mental health and substance abuse issues in North Carolina. In the current budget, we've invested more than $1 million to assess inmates early in the process to identify any behavioral health issues, provide more psychiatric services while inmates are behind bars, and begin discharge planning at the point of entry to increase the likelihood of success when inmates leave the jail. Outside the facility, we've made strides as well to support those battling mental illness. They include working with UNC Healthcare to add 12 new inpatient beds at the Wake Brook Treatment Center, coordinating closely with Alliance Behavioral Healthcare to offer mental health first aid courses to the public, and launching a new website called the Network of Care, which serves as a one-stop location for all resources related to mental health. Increasing resources for people facing mental health challenges is one of 4 priorities identified by the public in this year's Community Health Needs Assessment. The other 3 are health insurance coverage, transportation, and access to health services. We're currently in the final phase of the assessment and will work with our partners to deliver an action plan by the end of the year to show how we'll address needs in these areas. Our focus on community health this year includes enhancing services for pregnant women. In October, Wake County opened its 5th prenatal clinic, offering convenient prenatal care for mothers-to-be in the Millbrook area. Another way we're working to address the health needs of the county's youth is by adding 10 new nurses to the Wake County public school system. By expanding the nursing staff, we improve the nurse-to-student ratio by 35%. The new positions allow us to better serve the children so they can focus on their #1 priority, learning. Speaking of schools, the board made a significant investment in the Wake County public school system in the current budget because they believe a good education is a key ingredient to a successful future for all children in our community. The board increased funding by nearly $24 million for fiscal year 2017. Collectively, over the past 2 years, Wake County has increased our investment in the school system by 20%. To give you some perspective, more than half of our total general fund, about $626 million, now goes to the school system to fund operations, as well as our commitment to debt service and capital funding. We're also working with the school system to implement a new 7-year building program for capital projects, like building new schools or renovating existing ones. The new approach provides more financial stability and predictability while allowing the school system to be more nimble to react to changing conditions. Between the initial years of the plan, which are 2017 to 2023, $1.8 billion in projects have been identified to receive funding through a mix of bonds and cash. Wake Technical Community College's current and future facilities received a financial boost in this year's budget as well. Our board approved investing nearly $20 million in the college to fund operating costs for existing facilities and startup costs for new facilities. A priority for the board is getting students ready to learn. Over the past 2 years, the board has increased funding for SMARTSTART by nearly $500,000. These funds allow SMARTSTART to provide 5 pre-K classrooms, which will help prepare disadvantaged children in our county for success in kindergarten. As Wake County's population increases, we must ensure our law enforcement, fire services, and EMS departments are able to meet the growing demand for service.
We've taken a hard look at what our needs are now and what we predict they'll be in the future, because preparation and advanced planning are critical to protecting the safety of our citizens. When the call comes in, we've got to make sure that we have enough first responders who are well trained and who are equipped with the right gear so they can quickly respond to an emergency no matter where it is in the county.
This year, Wake County built a new EMS station at Raleigh-Durham International Airport. It's the next step in a long-range plan to build new EMS facilities or co-locate EMS services with fire departments as the county continues to grow. We've also made positive changes within our fire tax district this year to benefit our residents and the firefighters. We modified the existing funding formula for the fire tax district so it more accurately reflects the cost of providing fire services to the unincorporated areas of our county. By improving the formula, we ensure that the amount of funding we pay to each municipality for fire services mirrors the level of service delivered. We also increased funding for fire trucks and equipment such as breathing apparatus and turnout gear. together to help keep fire crews safe on the job. Another change Wake County is making to ensure public safety is replacing the aging 800 MHz radio system that firefighters, EMS, and local law enforcement use to communicate. We're making similar changes to the joint City of Raleigh and county-maintained computer-aided dispatch system. The provider will no longer support the system beginning in 2018, so we're working with the city now to acquire and implement a new system. Growth is not only impacting how we think about public safety, it's also a factor in our conversations about mobility. With more people moving here, there are more cars on the road, creating more congestion and making it more difficult to get where you need to go efficiently.
Many of you know of my work expanding our amazing greenways, which now span over 200 miles in Wake County. One of my ultimate visions is to take that greenway system and connect it up to sidewalks and bike lanes and ultimately transit and destinations where people ultimately want to go. That's why this transit referendum is so important, to provide our citizens more transportation options that ultimately can create jobs, help protect our environment, and create a healthy community for all of us here in Wake County.
Wake County and its partners spent the past 2 years developing a strategy that would provide more and better bus service to all parts of the county and build commuter rail from Garner to Durham. The planning process included unprecedented public outreach and buy-in from dozens of key stakeholders. Our board officially adopted the plan and authorized a half-cent sales tax referendum to go on the general election ballot. The results of the November 8th election showed a majority of voters wanted the options the transit plan would provide and cast their ballots 53% to 47% in favor of a sales tax increase, which will partially fund the plan. As the county grows, we not only have to think about how we get from point A to point B, we also must focus on ensuring we have a safe and reliable water supply, protecting our watershed and stream buffers, and further expanding our parks, greenways, and open space properties.
It's about sustainability. It's our job to protect the high quality of life we enjoy here in Wake County. Our natural resources are among our most important assets, and if we don't safeguard those, we can't accommodate the growth that we know is coming. That's why we're working diligently with local governments and the public on projects that will protect our environment now and in the future.
One of those projects was updating the master plans for each of our 8 existing parks, which we completed this year. Each plan identifies site improvements needed in the short and long term, and new opportunities to enhance the park experience for our residents. This year, we also completed the Wake County Greenway System Plan. It will serve as a blueprint to help us link existing and future greenways and prioritize related investments. We also worked hard this year to expand our open space properties. Through a series of acquisitions, we've purchased 324 acres of land in eastern Wake County, bringing our total open space acquisitions to about 6,300 acres. Turnip Seed Nature Preserve is under construction now and will open to the public for hiking and nature exploration in the spring. Located south of Wendell, the preserve will feature trails, boardwalks that run through natural wetlands, and the opportunity to see all kinds of wildlife. The natural beauty of Wake County isn't the only thing that draws people here. So do our vibrant culture and many opportunities to experience the arts.
I have been a Wake County Commissioner for 28 years, and during that time, I've seen our county develop a strong appreciation for the arts. From the art museum and local theater to live music and educational arts programming for children, we offer something for everyone. That kind of diverse culture is another reason why so many people want to call Wake County home.
A key way we are supporting that culture is by increasing our investment in the United Arts Council of Raleigh and Wake County, which helps link our schools with the arts. Our funding helps connect students to local museums, cultural venues, and performances, so they can experience arts and culture firsthand, some for the first time. The board also increased funding this year to the North Carolina Symphony and our public libraries. All our library patrons are benefiting from a bigger investment in our book collection. With it, we expect to buy as many as 200,000 new books for children and adults. In addition, we cut the ribbon and officially opened the new Northeast Regional Library in April. In May, we reopened Southeast Regional Library in Garner, which had been closed since 2015 for renovations. Great things aren't just happening in the arts and culture arena in Wake County, they're also happening within our government. Wake County broke a number of records this year. We reached a record number of registered voters, a record number of early voters, and a record turnout on Election Day. This speaks not only to the people's interest in the races on the ballot, but also to the efficient and skillful manner in which our team at the Board of Elections managed the process. Our Revenue Department is also ensuring that we maximize our revenue potential by achieving a property tax collection rate this year of 99.85%. That's the highest collection rate ever achieved in Wake County, and the highest rate in North Carolina for counties with a population of more than 100,000. And in an effort to increase fairness and accuracy in property valuations, the commissioners in March approved shortening the reappraisal cycle from 8 years to 4 years. Whether it's finding new ways to address problems or making strides to achieve our goals, Wake County has accomplished a lot over the past year. The state of our county is strong, and we look forward to working with you to build on that strength in the year ahead.